Welcome. We are back again with another episode of Truth Be Told with yours truly, Dr. Bombay. Let's put a little bit of a background here. It's a little something. Okay, so we are back again. Again, I've already said that part. Another episode. All right. So, man, check this out. Been drawing some conclusions. Been wanting to go live for some time now. Understand how the mechanism works. A lot of this going live stuff is pretty much you're selling a personality. I'm not here to sell a personality. I don't think I'm that damn much interesting. But however, like you and many others, I do have something to say. I have a lot to say. Hopefully it is relevant or something that you can find useful in your life. While reluctant to share, I have managed to push myself to do so because I feel like, you know what? If I can think it, maybe you should hear it. And if one of you can benefit, then mission accomplished. I have 7 live listening. We're shooting for our normal 11. I'm good with that because we don't need a crowd. It's not about the crowd. It's not about me. It's about sharing with you. Now, just to give you a little bit of a background on the premise as we do this resurgence of me showing up here to dazzle you with my smooth melodic tones and to say to you that I feel it is true and a fact that you're either a part of the problem or part of the solution. Lord knows you do not need yet another person on YouTube complaining about something or celebrating the demise or downfall of others because it seems to be such juicy gossip, drama, and tea, and you can't get enough. So there are over 400 million channels on this medium, and a lot of them have already to do with that negativity, low vibration type of energy. Therefore, I feel like, you know what? Let me give you something else, an alternative, maybe a solution, a way out, or something just to occupy your time as you commit to your evening driving, wrapping up your holiday shopping for your grandkids and your children. So here we are. Okay, you saw the title. Judge not, lest ye be judged. I believe that's how I wrote it. Now, once again, I'm starting out with one of those thought-provoking, biblical-sounding titles. And again, this is not a lesson in religion. This is not about the Bible. This is not anything, of a religious nature, should I say. It just so happens it's a nice bumper sticker slogan to some of you, and it is quite relevant. The purpose of this presentation is not to tell you how to think or to live, but to offer as a suggestion to look inside. Look inside of yourself. Turn the mirror around and see yourself truly as you are, the beautiful, wonderful being that you are in some cases, but maybe a little shattered, maybe a little broken, maybe a little burnt, to be realistic. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm here to tell you to be realistic when you look upon yourself and see if the actions you are committing yourself to is bringing forth fruitful change in your life or only serving to add to your suffering and dissatisfaction within that which you perceive as your life. That's the purpose of me being here. And why? It is my hope that in receiving this message, you come to your first realization that you have a choice in the matter of the thing you are calling life. So you're here now. Don't complain. I've heard a few people say, hey, was kind of missing out on those messages that you were delivering. You started to go a little bit to the left. You were being a bit negative, and I kind of enjoyed the positivity. So here we are. Like I say, all things in the universe has to exist in balance. There's a yin and there is a yang. I'm here to give you some yin yang, y'all. So, again, getting on with it, right? Judgment. Man, what's up with that? Oh, okay. I almost forgot too. Also, I come to offer this suggestion that you consider for 1 second that there may be another path or way of being that could suit you in finding the peace you desire. Now, I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to be presumptuous saying that, oh, all of you are just out here looking for peace and love in your life. And obviously you all share the same common goal as I do. I'm going to assume that 99.9742% of you do. Now, that might be a few select of you that run around out here on social media and in the real world. You pride yourself on being negative, evil, down low. You pride yourself on making other people suffer while projecting the illusion that somehow you are immune, somehow you don't have feelings, you don't have emotions, when we know deep down inside you do. Even the worst, most heinous criminal murderer on the planet still has a feeling. He still loves his mama, you know. All right. So let's stop pretending. We're all human beings here. We're all beings of compassion to some degree. Some of us experience more than others. A lot of us are here because we have some suffering and pain in our lives, and this gives us a nice playground to either shed the pain, receive more, whatever. But that was last week's lesson. So moving right along, we call this chapter 2, the road to enlightenment. I decided to make it a series. If I'm going to come here week after week or day after day, by the way, it's no rhyme to the rhythm. I am on here randomly. Hey, a thought hits me driving down the street. Create an outline, come on here and drop it. That's what we're doing. So again, we're going to assume that most of you here are looking for something in your life, another way of being. Maybe you were thinking some thoughts, but you were just too scared to bring it forth because you were afraid that somebody might pass judgment on you. I know how it is. It's the ego. You don't want to say what you really feel because you're afraid, and there's nothing wrong with that. I can understand. Nobody wants to be that black sheep. Maybe you're already the black sheep in your family. So let's look at this. I mentioned earlier that I drew that from a biblical quote. It's straight out of Matthew 7:1. What's made that quote stick in my mind was years ago. I was listening to a BDP Boogie Down Productions, Mr. KRS-One. And there was on the Edutainment album, there's one verse when he says, Matthew 7:1 does not budge. Do not judge, or you will be judged. For the judgment ye judge, ye shall also be judged. And to me, that rang out, not because there were bars in the Bible, which it does rhyme, but it just stuck. I don't know why. It occurred to me that a lot of what I was doing in my own life took a lot of my concentration to have me looking outward and looking at everything and judging everyone. I had to label stuff all the time. I found myself labeling people because it's almost like I'm talking to my loved ones and they expected me, hey, you told us the story of this person. Now you got to slap something negative on them. You got to pass judgment. But the quote basically goes like this, loosely translated: do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged with the measure you use. It will be measured to you. I'm going to stop right there because I don't like that particular connotation. It almost sounds like something down the road is going to happen to you because you're judging and someone's going to punish you. I want to remove that out of your mind. That's the religious viewpoint of that. We're not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about just the raw message of why does this quote suggest that you shouldn't judge? Now, it goes on to say in the third verse, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take that speck out of your eye when all the time there's a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite. First, take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Let me dip to the comments real quick, y'all. Welcome everybody that showed up here. The first dude, I can't read your name, or ma'am. Eyes Nation, welcome. Eyes, I was in your chat. That's where I've been. Thanks. Derek C. Williams, welcome. Conscious Energy, welcome. Josephine, I hope you got them greens on. Welcome. All right, so back to what I was saying. Now, the second part of that is pretty clear. It's pretty clear. There's no mistaking what they're talking about. It's telling you to relinquish yourself from the idea of needing to judge and get your ish together first. That's right. That's what I said. Hold the mirror up. Look at yourself. Trust me. We're going to talk about that. Why do we judge? Why do we always looking out? There's a mechanism. There's a reason behind that. You know, we want to tell ourselves that we're righteously good, upright, moral people, and that we're just trying to help others. Let me tell you something. If anybody in this room right now listening to the sound of my voice has not passed judgment on someone, even unfairly, within the last 7 days, please raise your hand. Okay, I shouldn't be seeing any hands up. There should be none at this point, because everybody, you've all passed judgment, even if you just thought it. Well, if you're anywhere on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you attended many discussions and you had a observation one way or the other. And sometimes you might even find yourself layering something on top of it, adding in, embellishing a little bit to kind of drive your point home. But the one question you never asked yourself is, why am I doing this? What is there to prove? Who am I trying to prove it to? Now, see, a lot of you might enjoy, and I'm pretty sure if 40 of you were here, that would tell me you would enjoy if we would make this more personal and we could talk about an individual or individuals and give more context to things. I'm not about that. I'm not here for this because, see, whatever observation you have of an individual, I don't feel that's going to help you in your life. I feel like we need to look deeper at the mechanism, which starts with you and it ends with you. So don't judge before purifying yourself in your thoughts. So let's get into the judgment thing. And hopefully later on, we'll open up the panel and some of you can help me get a better understanding. Judgment, by dictionary definition, the process of forming an opinion or evaluation by discerning and comparing. What could possibly be wrong with that? Well, as I said, there's a yin and there's a yang. There's nothing absolutely wrong with judgment. It's more so judgment and then attaching something to it. Like, for instance, I can look outside and say, there's a cloudy sky, looks like rain, smells like rain. I can smell the ionized particles in the atmosphere, and I think that it's going to rain. Nothing wrong with that. That's more so along the lines of observation, which we'll also discuss. Thanks for posting that link, bro. Judgment, though. Man. Oh, look at her. She's cute. But that wig is a hot mess. Judgment. Now, some of you call that, what is that? Is that passive aggressive? Exactly, that's what it is. It comes in all forms. All right. So the process of forming an opinion or evaluation by discerning and comparing. So then what is an observation? Observation, by dictionary definition, the action or process of observing something or someone carefully or in order to gain information. Observation would be judgment without the attachment or the need to pass judgment. Like, I can simply look at you. I can simply hear your story. Okay. For instance, a lot of you, let's put it in the context of social media. A lot of you are on social media, you're caught up in drama, you're hearing drama, stuff is going back and forth, you're listening, you're tuning in. So you can't just, you don't have the ability to just hear it. You gotta, well, I gotta choose a side. I gotta have an opinion. The sad part with that is, if we would be honest with ourselves, that even when there is down to the idea of drama, I'm gonna segue for a second. Yes, Dr. Bombay, I hate talking about myself in third person, but I'm just doing this for the sake. Anyway, Dr. Bombay, there are people who do have conflicts, and there's sometimes a right side and there's a wrong side. And I have a right to look upon it, and I have a right to make my own decisions. You surely do. But here's the thing, ask yourself this one decision. Are you looking at the person, and while you're observing and while you place a label on that individual, is it because it's in pure truth or scientific method that you use to deduce your conclusion? Or is it because you like that person or you dislike that person? So you're judging through a filter. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say a lot of you judge through filters. Think about it. You cool 1 minute, you shaking hands, you hugging and kissing and all of that. And then a month later, all of a sudden there's a falling out and this person is the worst scum of the earth. How could that be possible? Well, when they benefited you, you judged them through one lens. When they were no longer benefiting you, you judged them through a different lens. As I said in the past, and I'll probably do a whole segment on this about love. We're going to get into that one day. Love, to me, my slogan, my mantra, I say, love is when somebody's doing something for you. At the basis of it, I hate to say that. We'll get it. Matter of fact, we'll do a whole segment on that one day. Love, unconditional love, all this stuff. I hear you say things in your relationship. I still love her, but I'm not in love with her. We're going to go all into that. So yeah, judgment is based on morality in some cases. People will say, well, my holy book is telling me this, and based on my holy book, you are wrong. But you know one thing I notice about holy books and people that use it to validate their need or right to judge? Most of the holy books, every last one of them, have within its pages, don't judge people. Some of them even tell you that there's a higher being or higher power that does the judging, so you don't have to. So why spend 80% of your time on earth passing judgment? You don't need to do that. Now, but why? Let's talk about the why. People judge others to avoid reckoning with potential feelings of inferiority and shame. I've said this 1,000 times. When a person turns their mic on, walk with me, y'all. They turn their mic on. And the first thing they do, come to my live show, listen to me. First thing out of their mouth is, oh, did you hear about this? Oh, look at that person over there. Oh, they did this. They had a shortcoming. They had a failing in their life. Oh, they should be ashamed because of their past. Oh, just look at them, right? That's their whole sermon. And they can keep it going for 2-3 hours straight. But see, while you sitting there loving it, sucking it all up. Welcome, Andrea. Welcome, Miss Lynch. I'm so glad to have you here. While you sitting there loving it and sucking it up for whatever reasons, why? No, seriously, y'all, ask yourself a question. Why are you sitting there sucking up the negativity? Potential feelings of inferiority and shame. The host definitely has an issue. Inferiority and shame. See, it took me a while, and I told you on the last installment of To the Road to Enlightenment, I said that when the people attack you, when they come at you, sometimes it's through jealousy, envy, admiration, or their own personal shame and inferiority, which is why they're doing what they're doing. Now, once you understand this mechanism and you know it, you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to push back with equal force. We're going to get into the solutions later. You know, this is TMK Media and Dr. Bombay's platform, which is a solutions-based platform brought to you by Dr. Bombay and TMK Media. Shameless plug. So here's the thing. You got to look at the person spouting the judgment. See, now, when I hear you all speak, I'm listening to you. I'm wondering why. Why are you doing this? Why are you going on and on and on? Why are there 50, 60 people just crowding around? They love the carnage. because it makes all of them feel good. See, when you listening to it, well, it's not me, Doc. I'm not the one on the mic. I'm not the one live. I'm not the one doing the judging. I'm not the one. But you sitting there. That person, something about them stimulates you. You feel good because they're pointing the finger. Look at them over there. See them over there. They doing this over there. They not like us over here because they over there. Like even when you go to your holy places of worship, the sermon is always pointing the finger. You ever notice the sermon surrounds telling you that hey, it's these people over there. They're going to be judged. They're going to hit the hell fire. They ain't going to make it. They won't get through. They won't get by. They won't pass through the gates or whatever. Meanwhile, give me your money. And pat you on the head, tell you, but not you. See, you cool because you not like them. Yeah, until your money stop, until you fall out of favor, then suddenly that tune will soon change, right? Again, with that said, that's part of the mechanism. So you find yourself caught up in it. That's right. That's right. You don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. And I got to roll with what I got. Since judging others can never give a person what they really need, they feel like they have to keep doing it. See, y'all, I told y'all, you are a multi-dimensional being. You're in several dimensions at one time. You are solid. That's your bones, teeth, all the hard stuff. You are liquid, your blood, the saliva, the water that makes up 90% of your body, 75% of your body, 90% of your brain, right? You are gas. That's the oxygen, the nitrogen, the argon, carbon dioxide, the compounds that are in your body. That's 3 dimensions, right? You go well beyond that. You know, you're plugged in with etherically to the cosmos. You know, I'm not going to talk about that though. Whole nother topic. I was kind of getting myself lost there a little bit. So you feel like you have to keep doing it. That is because the other parts of you, the mind, the ego, the consciousness, and on and on and on. Like I said, you're in many dimensions. You're hovering at a level of ego consciousness. The ego within you has the need to constantly judge and point fingers. It stimulates itself from it. It is a drug. It's the same thing like when you use drugs. You can't get enough. I gotta smoke. I gotta pop this pill. I can't get by. And by the way, I'm not attacking y'all recreational drug use. By all means, do what you want. Again, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm talking about recognizing when you have a problem. Now, if you got 4 DUIs and the last one you got was 2 months ago, that might be a problem. That don't mean you can't drink sociably. That just means you might have an addiction. So again, judgment is also an addiction. As that book stated, get that plank out your eye, you know? So you keep doing it. One, nobody never told you, hey, that's wrong. If you grew up in a family full of haters and that's all they do at Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, is talk about the people that's not there, then you was raised up in it. You just don't know no better. You don't know why you keep looking out and you keep doing it more and more and more. Here's the thing, though, there is salvation, y'all. One can choose not to perpetuate this cycle of constant judgment, you know, which, by the way, takes up a lot of your brain activity. You can't look at nothing without passing judgment, and a negative judgment at that, right? Now, again, as I stated in the beginning, you ain't got to listen to nothing. I'm saying you don't have to do any of this. You can fall back and say, man, I'm perfect. I didn't even do a damn thing you saying, and that's fine. But when you look around and you're trying to figure out why I never feel satisfied, even after you get off the mic of 4 hours of preaching the judgment, you don't feel no better about yourself. You right back. You need a new target. You got to catch somebody else falling down. Look at you all. You sit around and wait for one of you to make a mistake, wait for you to fall down, wait for you to get exposed. Oh, it's juicy. I got to turn my mic on because this is juicy. I got to report on this. Man, come on, man. Especially, I'm going to talk to the brothers for a second. Let me segue here. As a man and you doing that, the whole gossipy and gossiping and all up in the middle of women folk and they business passing judgment, bruh, come on, man. Come on. Come on, you should be that beacon of light they looking up to, especially as a man, to say, hey, that brother over there, he made a correction on me. He told, get them sisters straight. Whatever. Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. Another subject. I ain't getting all into that race thing. But my whole point is don't be deceived by the herd mentality. You think because so many are engaging, that makes it socially acceptable. Remember I told y'all about the herd? That's like, for instance, I hate using this term. Let's take like the black community, right? A so-called black community. I don't even like using that. But anyway, the black community. Now, the black community as a collective might have a belief. They might say, well, the reason we not getting ahead is because of the man, right? Now, that was something in the 70s I heard heavy every day of my life. I believed it. I believed that I could not be successful because there was something called the man that was holding me back. Now, the herd believed that way. Where I lived, my geographical location in the ghetto, that was a common belief. I believed that there was this group of people that had everything and there was no way out for me. It created an inferiority complex, right? So what you have to do, you got to learn to leave the herd mentality. Stop following the crowd of sheep. You know, hell, if the shepherd led him in the right direction, the sheep would go straight off the cliff into doom and destruction. So that's why so many people are engaging, because it's just the herd mentality. You know, you got to be the shepherd. It's time for you to stand up, separate yourself, do something different. Now, again, nothing wrong with a little entertainment. You got the yin, you got to have the yang. It's just y'all got too much yang, in my opinion. Why do we judge? Oh, man, I almost forgot to drop honorable mention to Dr. Carl Jung. That's where I get a lot of this stuff from. He was a psychiatrist from Europe. Look him up. Carl Jung, spelled Jung. Carl Jung said, quote, thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge, unquote. Yeah. So no doubt about it. You know, judgment relieves us from the responsibility of thinking for ourselves and acting accordingly, right? And it also prevents us from growth. Again, y'all, if y'all listen to something, there's a common theme here to all these sermons I give, or speeches, whatever you want to call, lectures, we're going to call them. In my circles, we call them Dharma talks. And that is the almighty ego and transcending the ego. One day we're going to do that, y'all. We're going to be better. That quote pretty much sums it up from Dr. Jung. Judging is easy and doesn't require much thinking or reasoning. Our brains are wired to make automatic judgment about others and behaviors so we can move throughout our world. Again, y'all, that's a learned pattern behavior. A learned pattern behavior. You get indoctrinated into the school. Like I said, all of you were born to well-meaning parents. I mean, they loved you, they nurtured you, they fed you, they clothed you, but unfortunately, they gave you a lot of that negativity, a lot of those memes that don't work in your life. They handed them down to you. Like stuff in the will, like a old trunk full of mementos and heirlooms. They gave you the good and they gave you the bad. Segue, welcome YM, welcome QT1. I hope you got that pot on. Let me see your transcripts. Our favorite history teacher and resident administrator, welcome also. I'm pretty sure y'all ladies got them pots on. Anyway, no, that's not chauvinistic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So again, it's all learned pattern behavior. Understanding is harder, as it requires deep thinking, patience, compassion, and an open mind. It does. It's so much easier to just look at something and judge. It's so much easier to be already pre-wired with preconceived notions. You'll hear, as you start to observe your mind and the mind-ego activity, you'll start to recognize these mechanisms and see what's going on truly. And when you do, and you realize that it's not your friend and it's not beneficial to you, you will then be able to gather the mental strength to actually transcend these ideas and these notions and live a more fruitful life. Judging is simply, our attempt to create a hierarchy of better than, less than, superior, inferior, and to define the worth of everyone and everything and everybody we meet in every situation. You know, We have this innate nerves to be right, to be better, to be superior. True. Our binary view of the world around us necessitates us to be either right or wrong, so we tend to judge. Think about it. Even when you have a conflict with somebody near to you in your family on social media, what is the one go-to in the argument? You can't seem to win the argument, so what do? What do? Well, you start saying things like, I make more money than you. I have 6 figures. I live in a bigger house. I have a car. What do you drive? I dress like this. Look at you. I'm more physically attractive than you. Look at you. That's what you do. That's the go-to. Because thinking and reasoning is more difficult. You should use strong words, not strong arguments. Or I said that backwards. Strong arguments, not strong words. Let your intellect deliver you. Once you start hurling insults, you lost the argument. Now, of course, to all the people cheering you on and putting the ones in the chat, oh, they're all your friends. So, of course, you feel right. You feel superior. Truly, you're not. At the end of the day, if you rewind the tape, you didn't win the argument. You just won the crowd. All right. So there are a couple of theories I have on this, this whole judgment thing. And we're going to get deeper into it. There's the attribution phenomenon. There exists attribution biases too, like the fundamental attribution error. Most often our focus is on the behavior, ignoring the situation or the context of the circumstances which led to that behavior. Now, I said in the last installment of this series, and I'm saying here again, you see somebody acting out. Now, I use myself as an example. I came on here, I said, look at you, you're a criminal, dirtbag, this, that, other thing. You're a bad dad. You know, your life is trash. All these things we say to each other, right? But we never stop and really look deep into the situation and see how in the hell did this person arrive to this point. Matter of fact, look in your own family. How in the hell did y'all have the same mom and dad, but your sister dated nothing but drug dealers, is now strung out on drugs, but somehow you managed to get 2 master's degrees? How is that? You shared a bathroom, bedroom, house. What happened? What went wrong? See, instead of calling her a filthy crackhead, lowlife, and passing judgment saying, well, mommy raised you too, and you should be ashamed of you, there's something about her. There was a divergence in her life that caused her to be something else. That's what I mean. Attributes. What delivered this person to be here? And on top of that, what about, let's look not only at the past, the series of events that brought that person to this point, but where is she going to be 10 years from now? Isn't it funny how life can flip? 2 years from now, you have a stroke, you lose your career, family, job. Husband's like, man, I'm not dealing with that wheelchair. He rolls out. Your sister goes to church, gets rehab, do whatever. All of a sudden now she got a family of 3 doing good. Ain't life funny? But then you don't want to be called a cripple or a burden. She said, you over there burdening mommy. You don't want judgment passed on you. Those are the attributes, y'all. Y'all got to learn how to see. Not only are you multidimensional beings, but you also have to learn how to tune your vision to be able to see and observe multidimensionally as well. You're stuck. I understand you're in the 3rd dimension. You're trapped, like you can't see the others that are folded up parts of space tightly, one upon the other, creating these dimensions that you can't observe. So you believe that you're stuck in linear time, that time is moving backwards or forward in a straight line. No, all events that are occurring, have occurred, will occur, and are occurring right now are all happening now at the same time, simultaneously. Time doesn't move on a line. It's more so like a stack of pancakes, each pancake representing a separate event. We'll talk about that another time. Back to the judgment. Okay, the other side of judgment, projection. How many times you're having an argument and there's projection? Projection, seeing our darkness in others. Or back to Dr. Jung, knowing your own darkness is the best method of dealing with the darkness in other people. Again, Dr. Jung. Y'all got a very brilliant man. Although our conscious minds are avoiding our own flaws, they still want to deal with them on a deeper level. So we magnify those flaws in others. That's right. So you look at other people, you pass the judgment, you say, well, look at you, you're this, you're that. You have the same qualities within yourself. But judging takes away the responsibility of you seeing it within yourself. And you get to use the other person as an experiment by projection to deal with that negative quality in them. You'll sit back and watch how they handle it. That's your mechanism. How many times have you been having an argument with somebody on social media and they say, but you keep projecting, you're deflecting, you're projecting, you're deflecting, and so on and so forth. Exactly. Now that I'm starting to say this thing in the way that I'm saying it, you're going to start to remember, and you're going to start to, these things will come alive. When you look in that mirror as you're brushing your teeth this evening, you're going to start to say, what is really going on inside of me? How am I really feeling? Again, you are a conscious being, but you're not consciously aware. You are moving through different levels of unconsciousness, perceiving it to be as a higher consciousness. And you say things like, I'm conscious, I'm spiritual, I'm this. You start giving yourself attributes when I'm gonna let you know a conscious being would never assign themselves attributes like that, saying, I am a conscious being. That's like walking down the street, somebody says, some man's on the corner with a bullhorn megaphone yelling, standing on top of a milk crate talking about I am God and such and such and so and so. Run away. Or as we say in Zen circles, if you're walking down the road and you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. Doesn't mean if somebody professes to be that, exterminate them. What it means is that when a being is teaching you to see things in the absolute, but yet if a being ever professes to have a single separate inherent self, kill that idea of a self. You know what? That's going to be later down the line. We're starting to get all into that deep stuff. But, I'm sorry. We're talking about Dr. Jung and why we do the things that we do as far as judgment and projecting. And the doc also says, being instinctive and irrational is prone to psychological projection, in which perceived personal inferiority is recognized as perceived moral deficiency in someone else. That's another thing too. Like I said earlier, y'all, the judgment is based on our morals. We really, again, that's why I say you got to watch that whole God complex stuff, because people run around here all the time with these holy books and texts talking about somehow that gives them a right to always look out. They waving that thing around. You heard some folks say, matter of fact, I hear people from the LG, they always say, man, it's funny how y'all got that whole scripture, that whole book in your hand, but the only scriptures you seem to be able to zero in on is the ones that are against homosexuality. But all the stuff that you're doing, you don't see none of that in there. You laying up in the bed, sitting online with your laptop next to a man or woman you're not married to, and y'all just got down 10 minutes beforehand. But you don't see that, though. That's the whole point, y'all. Judgment, again, observation, scientific research, all these things are great. Judgment, being able to look at somebody is okay, to pass judgment, but not pass judgment in a way where it's negative, but to see and observe and hopefully be of some benefit. Can you look at another sister, see her struggling, and without passing judgment, activate the compassion within you to offer or render some assistance? So, question, why do we judge? When we judge someone for something, we're actually judging ourselves as the very same thing. Like I said earlier, we just haven't fully owned or accepted that trait within ourselves. See, it's in you. Whatever you're judging in them is in you. No doubt about it. It's like, how can I say? The whole world, I said hold a mirror up to your face, but the whole world around us is a mirror. And judging somebody doesn't define who they are. That just simply defines you as a person that feels the need to judge. And those of you that have been judged by others, for instance, if somebody calls you a jackass, you don't grow in ears and tail. You don't become that which there is. How many of us have had judgment passed upon us by our loving parents? Wouldn't it have been nice instead of them calling you names and berating you in front of the family all those years, and then now causing you to have a complex where you don't even feel comfortable dating people of the opposite sex because of the abuse that you suffered at the hands of these loved ones, that they could have been a little more compassionate or understanding or use that inner vision to see deeply into their own child. But they didn't. They beat your ass all the way through, up until through adolescence. They meant well. They didn't know any better. So when you look at them, try not to judge them too. Try to use the same ideas and look at your parents, your folks, the adults in your life, and just see, man, they just didn't have it together. They didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the insight. They didn't have the wisdom. That's why you felt so comfortable with your grandmama when you would sit in her lap and she would just hold you. Somehow you felt like she really understood you, and you like, Nana, I wish you was my mommy, you know. And hey, see, again, it's no shame on your parents. It's just that those higher wisdoms, stuff like that comes later in life. You're not, you guys had kids in your 20s. You didn't have it together. Your parents had you in their 20s. They didn't know a damn thing about life. So don't be so hard on them about that. Now, you, on the other hand, are in your 40s. You in your late 40s, and you on here acting a damn fool. You know what I'm saying? I said that too. What if everybody at your job could see you on camera with your activity? So yeah, judgment. Now, that goes hand in hand with some of the other negative traits we might have. Like when you go out here and persecute people online and you riding down on them, trying to dissect their life, trying to cause them pain or cause them to lose their livelihood. Know this, there's something deep inside of you that's in pain. That was last week's show, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I did that show this week, didn't I? That was the last show. Man, but the why, right? Answering the why. It's just that which, we detest and judge in others is just a reflection of the things we cannot accept about ourselves. No other way to put that. If you hate a person, you hate something in them that is a part of yourself. When you really start to look deeply, you're gonna come to a higher realization that these people that you look out at, they are no different from you. They're not separate from you. They don't even exist. They're part of the illusion. Everything is interconnected. But for the sake of us having this life experience and existing in 3 dimensions, we appear to be separate, disjointed, and disconnected, but you truly are not. I'm not going to force all that on you. You're not going to have full enlightenment in 1 hour. I'm not even there yet. Okay? So, but know this, though. You can use the negativity to bring forth something in yourself, a change, positive growth. As I like to say, and I've heard other wise people say, transmuting base metals into gold. So taking the judgment, the lead, using processes of alchemy and flipping it, turning it into gold. Everything that irritates us about others can lead to an understanding of ourselves, self-awareness. So while you're judging, you have to be able to slow down the moment, freeze that frame of reference of time and say, why am I doing this? What am I seeing in this person? What is it about them that resonates with me that's causing me to do this? Again, y'all, we are all just mirrors and reflections of each other. And again, like I said, when you stand back far enough, you'll see you're all a part of the whole big ball of wax, the mechanism, the universe, the cosmos, the balanced universes, multiverse, whatever you want to call it. But watch when you label that, though, because the universe is not some separate being other than yourself. You're a part of it. When you look at it that way, you look at it, there's a misperception. There is nothing. Never mind. Anyway, I start to do that thing again where I start segueing. So when being harshly judged, you begin to see that you can let go of the need to retaliate or resist, because by now you understand the process. So when somebody does it to you, you don't feel the need to have your feelings hurt, to fight. You don't feel the need to push back. You just simply say, well, give me that. You got pain? Give it to me. I'm going to transmute it for you. If you can't transmute it, I'm going to transmute it for you. Maybe I'm going to sit and listen attentively to what you're saying as you pass judgment on me. Hey, look, y'all ever had a problem or a friend of yours calling you up and say that they got a problem? And you be like, oh man, here she go again. Want to talk about him. Oh my God, why don't you just leave him alone? But anyway, you judge it, and then come to find out she want to talk to you about her children. And she sits there for a whole, I need your help. I really need your help. And then 15 minutes into the conversation, you ain't said one word, and she been talking for 15, 20 minutes, and she said, oh my God, I feel so much better. Thank you for listening. And you go, damn, I ain't do nothing. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. She basically handed you the lead, and by you using your presence and compassionate listening, you transmuted that lead into gold. So by you just simply being there, and that's what I mean, y'all, when y'all say y'all there for each other. Sometimes your spouse is coming in, they getting on your nerves, like, oh my God, him again, her again. Yo, just listen, just be in the room, just be present, put the phone down and just listen. You can heal people just by doing that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that judging process, man, it's your constant companion and validation of everything that we perceive with what we believe. Again, it's a part of the ego, y'all. That thing, remember I said that little voice in your head? Actually, it's the big voice in your head. It's always telling you what to do, always getting you in trouble. When you start to learn to listen to that voice, observe it, just hear what it's saying, and realize you're the conscious observer and not the ego itself, you will then be able to step over that. Recognize it when these feelings, these thoughts, these ideas crop up within you, you'll be able to shut it down. And that's what judgment does to us, shuts us down, prevents us from understanding the full situation or a new truth that is not known yet. So yeah, it stands in the way of things. Through judging, we separate. Through understanding, we grow. Xantamata, by the way. I like quotes, y'all. A lot of people have quotes and good things. But like I said before earlier, this is a solution-based platform. We don't complain over here. We don't point fingers over here. We don't create a title and then turn around and beat up on one person online because for some reason we feel justified. I'm gonna sit here and say it to your face. I'm gonna keep saying it. Again, that's the herd mentality. Just because 40, it was lit. I had 65 people listening to my message. No, you had 65 sheep listening to your message, listening to the negativity and the carnage, because that's the level they was vibrating on. That do not make you right. You just had a lot of fans. Trust me when I tell you that. That's part of the herd mentality too, to believe that somehow you affecting change on a grand, large scale. You're not, sir, ma'am. You just dealing in something. There's something within you. Why the 50 people that's listening to you, I'm looking at you. And I just want to know what's really bothering you. What is it about that woman you don't like? Just tell it, just say it like it is. Well, which you'll never do. Nobody will ever be honest because it's hard to do that. Can you look at the younger lady and say, damn, I wanted to be a model at one point in time. I felt like, you're an attractive person. You're very popular. You're all the things that I'm not. And I just feel like I gotta get on your case. Something about you just irks me. You ever have somebody look at you say, I just can't stand a person and never tell you why? Your friends say, I can't stand his ass, but won't tell you why? We're not going to be honest. So then what we do, we gather 30 or 40 of our cronies around us. Y'all remember that? How many of y'all sat at the cool table in high school? Y'all sat with the cool kids? How many of y'all did that? Got to be with the cool kids. And the cool kids did what? Point fingers, taunt, tease, pass judgment. What? They wasn't cool at all. They were a-holes. I've listened to a lot of you here, and I see that you weren't at the cool kids table. I can look at you right now. Matter of fact, you wasn't at the nerd table. You wasn't at the intellectual table. You damn sure wasn't in the teacher's lounge. You were a bit of an outcast. Boy, when they invented microphones and gave you YouTube, you became Superman or Superwoman because you now could control the narrative, control the room. You could dole out your pain. Hey, look, AYM. Matter of fact, I'm a segue. She says, you're judging others. You know what? You could say that. These are observations. And I'm telling you, this is what I observed when I start. And I was getting to the point. You would have heard it. I'll speed it up. My conclusion is this. When I saw you come on the scene and I saw you acting out as a troll, I used to resent you because you were a troll or you were a a-hole or whatever you were doing, and I fought with you. But after closer observation, I'm getting to the point, I started to realize, I said, man, I'm really starting to see you for who you are. You wasn't at the cool table. You wasn't this. You wasn't that. You struggle with your own identity. And here you now have a platform where you can be bigger than life. And now you feel like riding down on people. You taking all that past pain and digging it up and you doling it out. We talked about the pain cycle last week. So that's why I made this statement in the way that I did. These were my observations. So I no longer fight against you. I just simply say, bro, go ahead. Tell me some more. Give me some more. What else you got? What else you got? What else you got? And not being arrogant. It's no need to fight against you. You are who you are. And I could be completely 1000% wrong in my observation of you, which is fine. But know this, my observation is telling me not to fight you, not to resist you, not to go out here and make a song about you, not to talk about you, not to turn on the mic, go 3 hours and rally all of your ops against you. I'm not going to do that, you know? Again, and I'm trying to share with y'all this experience so that way you can understand when they aim the barrel at you, you understand why you catching it, or if you are the perpetrator, maybe you can make a different decision. As I stated, rewind back to the intro. So how do we stop it, y'all? Solution, right? Be open. Before we judge, let us slow down and seek to understand with an open mind. So before I attack you, let me just stop for a minute and consider, why are you doing this? What's going on in your head? Okay, well, you're 50, you're 45, you're 42, you're 56, you're 50. Okay, I understand. Midlife crisis. Okay, yeah, them wrinkles, not trust me, I know the feeling. Okay, so now that I understand you, okay, I see why you're doing this. It's cool. All right, we talked about knowing the path of the person or understanding how they came to be at this point. You know, what else can we do? Investigate. We can be curious about the individual, knowing that there's something about the situation that we may not fully understand. Again, this mic gives you power. I'm starting to really get it now. I understand you on here, you feel powerful. Then on top of that, you got 150 people trying to expose every flaw you got. They're going to look up your information. They're going to dig stuff up on you. They got to take you down a peg. If only they knew they don't have to take you down a peg. You're already down several pegs. I keep telling y'all, man, you got to watch what you do. Because see, once you go, dragging, they already down several pegs. They're negative pegs. They in a hole, and you go to drag them down worse if they cause harm to themselves. Just own that. It don't, like I said, judging somebody. Anyway, I don't want to start preaching. Anyway, just practice patience. How else can you learn without first studying and understanding? You didn't get multiple degrees. You didn't get electrician certifications, maintenance certifications. You didn't get all this stuff without learning, studying, and understanding. You had patience for that. So then practice the same patience in doing what you do. Okay, y'all, this is a stretch right here. Another solution, be empathetic to people. Empathy. Let us be empathetic. Give the benefit of the doubt to others for their situation or circumstances that may not be in our full awareness. Well, why does she keep doing that, though? I mean, she always like to attack people. She always comes after people. Why don't she just stop? I mean, and then when people do it to her, she don't. Well, let's rewind the tape. You said this person had a very heinous childhood. As a matter of fact, not only did they have a heinous childhood, you threw it in their face. You taunted them because of it. You struck them down. Did you ever consider what it was like when her mama was selling her body to all those strange men? Did you ever wonder what it was like, how that affected her self-esteem? But no, you didn't. You felt like seeing her mama using drugs, strung out, seeing her mama's boyfriends touch her. You felt like because she's not acting within the realm of how you feel she should be, you believe that it is now okay for you to go back and drag out that fact and slay her with it because she's acting out. Not once did you ever decide, maybe I should connect the dots. Maybe that messed up childhood with the prostitution and the drugs surrounding and the older men, maybe all that kind of make her who she is right now. Maybe I should trade places and try to see if I can understand that. Yeah, I know. But everybody's on here doing it. It's what the whatever, I don't know, y'all in what sectors? Well, over here in this sector, that's what that's about. That's what it is. That's what the sector do. Yeah, do it. You ever notice the people that's saying that are the people that benefit from it the most? They're the ones on the mic telling you how your section or your division of YouTube, what it's about, what it really is. They're going to define that for you, because if you look at them, you'll see they need it to be that way. They don't need what I'm doing here. They don't need you to wake up. They need you to stay in your pain so they can be okay. All right, so boom. So ain't no need for you to fight against these folks on here. What you resist persists. Let them have it. Yeah, I know, but you don't understand. She said something about my kids. She said something about my father, my mother. I understand. Okay. And you holding on to the hate does what exactly? Anyway, moving on. I'm starting to preach, y'all. We don't do preaching. Moving right along. Empathy, y'all. Empathy. Trade places with the individual. Try to see it from their point of view. Understanding, y'all. And if you doubt me, then being unempathetic does what exactly? What is all the cussing and screaming at the person, cussing them out, waking up at 3 a.m, jumping on any panel you can get on to strike somebody down, just yelling and screaming at the top of your lungs, acting all out of character, got your kids wondering what the hell is wrong with mom and dad. What is that doing for you? Are you making the person feel so bad? For real, name one person on here that you attacked so much with fire and fury that they came to you and said, you know what? You're right. And I can tell by your anger that I should change my life. I want to offer you a full apology, written and verbal, for all to see, and want you to know that I'm going to make a conscious effort into being a better person. Never happened, never will. Boom. All right, so moving right along. We got to be self-aware too. Practice being self-aware, self-forgiveness, forgive yourself, self-acceptance, self-compassion. Pour that love on yourself, y'all. See, that's kind of what I was saying last week when I told you. I said, yeah, at this point, you're gonna hear these. Let me run it down for y'all. They're gonna hear this message and they're gonna say, yeah, he talking all of that, but just 6 months ago, he was talking on the song. He did this, he did that, did all of that. You're gonna hear that. Know this. I already let that go. I ain't stuck on that. If you want to stay stuck on that and you want to be mad about it, then be mad about it. I told you, nothing on this channel is private. It's all there for the world to see. How you going to know if I grew? First of all, matter of fact, if you go back 3 years, you'll see that there was a period of time when there was the growth. Somehow on COVID, the growth stopped and now it's resuming again. So by all means, please take something from my past and throw it in my face. I'm going to ask you one question. Yeah, I know what I used to do, but what am I doing lately? Janet Jackson. Anyway, turn the attention inwardly, y'all. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. I know you did wrong. Forgive yourself. Boom. All right. Now, I know when I get on this mic and I say all this stuff and say, oh, well, this is the solution. You can just do this and do it. Yeah, again, it sounds easy. I want y'all to know, I know it's not as easy as it sounds. Trust me. As soon as I put the big toe on the floor in the morning, I wake up with the ego in control. So it's not easy. I'm talking about before I go meditate, it's like the ego start talking. It'll be like, yo, bro, you got like 2 hours for you got to work. It's cold, man. Why don't you just wait? Yo, the voice is start kicking off. It's telling you all 100 reasons why you shouldn't go meditate, pray, or whatever it is y'all do. You understand? So again, y'all, folks is going to do that. They're gonna take your past and try to use it against you and tell you that for that reason you can't grow. They're gonna take your race and use it against you. Tell you, well, you're black and you got to do this. They're gonna tell you you're black and you should think like the herd, because this is what black people do. See, this is, you got to do this or you ain't black. You know, whatever. They're gonna do that. That's manipulation and control. You're grown. You should be beyond that by now. I try to play humble a lot of times, and for some reason, people feel this is a license to tell me what to do. I don't know what that's about, y'all. If I'm talking to you on the phone or on the internet or something, just because I seem humble, please stop. I mean, the advice, though, you know, you're like, oh, what you need to do is this. No. I don't know. Maybe I could use some advice, but wait for me to ask you. Unless, of course, you want to get on the mic and put it on your channel, then I'll go there and listen. But at least I have a choice, right? It's not as easy to simply stop, y'all. All of our attempts against our innate human nature might go in vain. And I don't like saying innate because I believe y'all are 100 times greater than what you appear to be. So I don't believe you're stuck. You're born as a judge. It's not as easy as it sounds. Instead, we just have to learn to become more self-aware when we judge, and through the awareness, move on, adopt more interesting thought patterns. That's it, y'all. Remember, the whole secret of having a spiritual practice is the word practice. You practice so that you get better. You don't read one book and suddenly you're healed. You don't look at one Tyler Perry movie and say, oh, I got black men figured out. And you damn sure ain't going to figure them out by looking at one of those movies. But anyway, and just be nice. In the end, just try being nice. God damn. Come on, y'all. You got to have balance. You know, how many of you say, man, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go start my own channel. I'm going to have a channel. I'm going to get on YouTube, get me figure out which camera to use. I'm going to go on here and I'm going to start my channel. And you're going to do what? You're going to do exactly what everybody else in your little sector of YouTube is doing, or your section or genre, or whatever the hell you're a part of. And you're going to duplicate what they're doing. Because Lord knows around here, we do not need yet another, hey, I'm a grown ass man and I'm going to get up in women's business and gossip about what the women are doing, rather than being a damn man and giving the sisters some example or some guidance or some wisdom to use. Y'all supposed to be leading. Well, y'all say y'all leaders. You call alpha males. Alpha male. You alphabet male. Alpha male, indeed. Ain't leading nothing nowhere. Bills overdue. Anyway, this is not that kind of show. So wrapping this up, you know me, I can ramble for about an hour, y'all. And we ain't got to drop no names. We ain't got to talk about people. We can have a good conversation. Then, we'll get a link going somewhere. Maybe I'm pretty sure there's a link here somewhere, just in case any of you have anything that you might want to say as I go into my conclusions. My conclusion. How was I going to wrap this up? I don't know. Oh, so I'm sure by now you can see how the judgment mechanism works, right? You can see how it works. And how it occupies most of your thoughts practically all the time. The ego is dominant. It's always that little voice just constantly babbling. And it's never anything good. Never. It never tells you, like, be kind. Matter of fact, you get out your car. Who's standing in front of 7-Eleven? Them homeless people, or the people I ain't giving them no money. They drug addicts. How do you know? I told y'all in the past, that's the ego. Ego says pass judgment. Up, they drug addicts. How do you know? Man, I seen this show on TV and they be driving Benzes and they be out here. Let me tell you something. Let me stop you right there. If you got $2 in your hand and you want to give charity because you're a charitable person and you feel righteous enough to do so, then understand this. Once that money leaves your hand, it don't matter. The act is complete. Don't matter if they shoot heroin, buy a drink, buy a wiper blade for their Mercedes. Doesn't matter. The deed is done. It's a distraction from the issues you have inside. It denies you the repair that you may need. This judging process, y'all, is holding you back. It's attached to your ego. It's holding you back. The judgment process is a part of and keeps you trapped in the illusion of this false reality, the third dimension. Again, I know I keep saying that, and y'all probably saying in your mind, but dude, I got a cue ball in my hand off the pool table. If I throw this thing at you and hit you in the head with it, you telling me it's an illusion? You ain't gonna feel the pain? Oh no, not at all. Definitely. When I say false reality, I just mean it's not in a way to say that this isn't real. It's a way to say that this is not all that there is, and this is the smallest, slowest vibration of reality that you're in. But unfortunately, it's the one that you have, so you're more more identified with this. Like the goldfish been in that bowl its whole life, that you dump the bowl into the ocean. It's like, damn, who knew there was a whole ocean? You get it? All right, so we need to start kind of transcending this the third dimension. We need to step outside of the matrix, as we say, the simulation. It's a simulation. Oh, and it does, as a simulation, it does serve its purpose. This is where you're experiencing the time-space continuum. This is where see, do you get it now? That the illusion must exist in order for you to transcend it in the first place, to get to enlightenment? Or as the wise man said, no mud, no lotus. So now that you understand why you're here, now you understand, like, don't make this your life. Don't make it the only thing. But don't let me tell you what your purpose in life is. Hey, you've been working on this for several lifetimes. You know, there's no need to sit around deciding if you're man or woman enough, if you're black enough, or dedicated to one or the other political cause. Those endeavors ain't going to serve you any purpose, nor will they offer you any relief with your daily pains of living. You're sitting around here. Y'all got conversations. You want to talk about who's black, who's not black, who Republican, and you're black, you should be a Democrat, and they ain't did nothing for black people. What they gonna do? And this person light skinned, and Kamala Harris, she ain't dark enough, and she is dark, but she this, but her mama's an Indian, and da 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 da. Paperback tests, so on and so forth, whatever, carrots and corn and all of that. Useless, wasted time, wasted time. In conclusion, the judging will only serve to fuel more arguments, disagreements, fights, division, and in a lot of cases, even war. You've seen it on your own planet. Ask yourself, do you really need to occupy 80% of your time with this activity? Seriously. Well, y'all, I don't know. It was a good run, man. These are some thoughts that was on my mind. I dropped a link. It's pinned. If any of you that are in attendance, I didn't get my 11 yet. If any of you are in attendance and you have something that you want to say about this topic or any topic that's on your mind, I'm open to listen and I'm open to have the conversation. But know this is a non-sector zone. We don't do that over here. Welcome, Juice. What's up? We don't do that over here, okay? Because there's so much of it already. We don't need to have yet another channel that's talking about the latest gossip. And I am a man, and I'm not going to engage in that, especially when it has to do with women folk and their business. It's none of my business. But I will say this, though, to all my sisters, I do hope and find that each and every one of you will have peace in your life and light and all that you deserve, and that you can find the enjoyment and that you can get along and build together, right? Because it don't seem like you're getting a lot of support from the brothers in some cases, and I'm not here to beat up on the brothers. I'm just saying, like, somebody got to step up and do something. I mean, so anyway, looks like I'm alone on this one, y'all. Last week, we had a nice conversation. Check that out on that video. If you feel compelled to do so, like, share, and subscribe. Matter of fact, let's look at a couple of the comments. I mean, while we're here, wrapping it up, I'll stall a bit. QT1, remember that old head from Bombay's chat last time? What was his name? Lord, he was hilarious. Old head Deuce? That was his name? I don't know. And there's Miss Stucky came through. Well, most of the comments more so, YM always has a lot to say. Y'all do realize YM will be doing her national debut on this platform here. She will be on cam and audio for the world to witness. Yep, you heard it first right here. Yolanda says, midlife crisis or arrested development. Sometimes I really wonder. Yeah, y'all, again. I saw some comments like preach and all that. I understood what you meant. I consider it a lecture, but I understand it does sound like preaching. I don't want to sound preachy though. If you see the boot on the road, kill him. Got it. What'd you say? I wish you would do more deep dives on koans, Bombay. Yeah, you know what the funny thing about koans is? It's like how everybody would interpret them. You know, like everybody would see it different. I love pancakes, waffles, no blue waffles, though. That's funny. I like how y'all take some of my serious stuff and flip it, make it more lighthearted. Definitely. No apologies necessary. I put it out there so it's everyone's business. They choose. Oh, that's some side stuff y'all got going on. I saw y'all on that last chat going back and forth, talking about things and all that, but we don't do the sector stuff here, so I can't comment on it. But I will say this, though. All of y'all are adults. All of you are grown. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you're in what they say, the personality forms between age 7 and 14, I'm gonna say this, man. If people are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, late 20s, and so on, it might not be a lot we can do to help them. Sometimes we just gotta leave them alone. Or sometimes, you know what I feel? Do this. Go to your channel, create some content that surrounds something that maybe they could use, you know? Because the whole thing here, I can't really diagnose anybody, anything like that. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and take the lights down a little bit. Yeah, can you load that light up on the mezzanine, please, so we can make it a little quiet around here. And I want to say once again, I thank you all who came out, all who took the time to listen and spend time with listening to little old me. I'm sorry if I didn't give you the usual rumors and gossip and judgment and that stuff, man, because I can't take it no more. I listen in, but we don't want to talk about it over here. I want to give you an alternative. I want to give you a choice to hear something a little different. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I appreciate everybody. I'm stalling y'all so I can get my brands listed so I can go ahead on and drop this out. Everybody that came through to another episode of Truth Be Told, judge not, lest ye be judged. And I leave you with the words of peace and tranquility. Namaste.